Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much cemented right now.
Yeah, I don't really know if I want to like. I don't really want either of them, to be honest.
Right. But hey, I would load up B game of that shit. Comes up with the little text box. How come you don't want either of them? Nothing you like about either of them?
It's kind of hard for me to think about it right now because I'm like got a headache, but like it's I don't know how to like answer it in like a sophisticated way, but it's like I see like I feel like my fucking taxes and shit went up when fucking Biden went in and shit, but
Did he change the
fucking
tax policy?
I don't know if I'm pretty sure he did. Well, I mean, oh no, you know what it is? I'm thinking of fucking inflation. It's like the fucking chips are like $6 now. I'm like, what the fuck? Like for example, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know if that's him or not. It's just like it could have been fucking Trump when he was in
Well,
office, and like Biden's
no.
trying to fix it.
Mm,
I don't know. I just
it
don't
wasn't
really want
it
either of
wasn't
them.
Trump that caused inflation. There
Yeah,
was a
I don't think it was, but
it was well, the inflation was global and everyone dealt with it. It's actually funny because if you're from Europe, usually we're checking OECD G7 countries to see, at least in our media in the UK, we would that was like a big narrative, is that we were doing worse on inflation compared to other countries, and America was doing way better than Europe. Europe was doing really
that's
shitty. Germany was doing
crazy.
really bad, and then UK was doing awful too. I don't think it was as bad as Germany, but yeah, America was. You just look up the statistics. G7 inflation statistics. America was doing way better. So
That's crazy. Cause honestly, it kind of pisses me off that like fucking chip, like a big bag of chips is now like $6. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, but you also
So
have
if I was
to
living in like Europe or something, I'd be
it'd be
even
even
more
worse,
pissed,
right?
probably.
Because yeah, we
Yeah,
had more sustained inflation, but you also have to look at you can't just look at inflation alone. You also have to look at wage growth. So are your wages increasing relative to inflation? Are they increasing faster than inflation is increasing, which means you're actually having more purchasing power. So that's what you need to look at instead of
yeah.
looking at inflation. You need to look at what your purchasing power is to determine if the economy is good and if it's recovering to your standards. If you think that Biden did a good job, um, so because it also depends. It's like
Yeah,
where, because inflation obviously is gonna, even though like let's say your wages are increasing, it's like, well, where's your wealth tied up? Have you got it in assets, or do you just have money? You just have money in a bank account. Because if you have money in a bank account, and you don't have it invested in any sort of asset, then yeah, of course, inflation is gonna hurt you more. But I'd assume you probably don't, because you're like a youngin. So I don't know how much that inflation would have hurt you more than somebody that's just got shit lying around.
yeah, that's true. Cause if you have it invested, like the fucking, to be fair, the gains were like there. It was going up. Like the market was going up, like a lot. So.
Yeah, isn't your economy doing, or at least it's like recovering really well right now?
Yeah, like in that aspect, it's been going up a lot.
How about your wages? Um,
Um, hmm, some states have been like raising their minimum wages for like the basic jobs, like to like some of them are like 15. California passed a law to have fast food restaurants to be 20 minimum wage, which is kind of crazy to me, but Yeah, there's some states that just don't do that. They're like, yeah, fuck that shit. And they're like $7, fucking 7.20. I think it
Yeah,
is
that's
still.
correct. That's crazy. But then again, it's like probably have way cheaper cost of living in. I'd expect those to be rural states. You probably have
Yeah, yeah.
way cheaper cost of living
Some of
than
them
California.
are. I think some of them just haven't increased. Like, I don't know. Let me see. It's like
But it's not just
thinking like
minimum
just.
wage. I just meant wages in general. Like, are your wages personally increasing? Like, are you getting pay
Oh,
rises and shit?
yeah. I'm getting paid more than I probably would be in the past. Like they raised the this job to like 20 or no, it wasn't 20. It was like 1950 for the summer. This is like overnights differential and like yeah, so it was like 1950. It's usually 18. Um,
Hmm.
and they put it down for some reason recently. I don't know why. Not for me, but like anyone that gets hired now,
Oh, new hires. All
it's like
right.
18. Yeah, it's like lower for some reason, but I'm making like 20 something right now.
Right. How about foreign policy? What's your views on that? Do you care at all about foreign policy? Or is that just not a concern?
Um, I that's something. Yeah, I do care about it when we do when you do like can't fucking I can't fucking word it, man. Uh, me, yeah, I would say because if you don't care for your foreign policy, like it could be bad, but for how foreign like allies and stuff view you and all that.
Hmm. Right, because I guess that's like a lot of America's powers is that or hold on, let me look at the chat. Paste. I love Twitch ads. He'll get trickies in the VC. I'll give an economic rundown. No, it's Julian. California minimum wage is 20 now, and they just experienced massive layouts. No, you kill yourself. No, yo, tell this a farm pilot kid he's cringe. Tell Calvin to die. What? Is
All
on the
right,
chat.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
me.
kill me,
Oh, you do
kill me.
it.
I didn't know I'm
Trickies
on
is in the
stream.
VC, by the way. Trickies is in the VC, but this guy's AFK.
I didn't know I
This
was on stream.
right. Oh yeah, I
Oh
just
well.
started playing DOA.
Yeah. By the way, I can't fucking think straight right now,
Yeah, guys.
so I'm kind of responding like a fucking retard right now. But
Damn, these rounds are so short when you're not paying attention. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not paying attention. And this game without music is really depressing. Oh shit, I just landed in America right now. Fuck, just gonna have to kill your prison population.
yes,
Shouldn't they be black? I'm getting a little bit unhinged, but where's the representation, huh? Did I? I'm restarting. The reason I restart is because dog bites. You regen dog bites on your first life, and so yeah. Tell trickies to get me in the VC. Base guard trickies don't want smoke. Can't hack the debate. What the fuck are you gonna debate? Man's gonna be fucking debating what now? Are you gonna relitigate the Phoenix debate? No way, that's coming back. Fucking Z-Woo is gonna show up, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. When he said that, I actually burst into tears. That was one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard. Come on, Tricky's his mouth. Oh, no way. The way to 10. The man's doing DOA restarts. No way. Zero Theory will make a comeback. Indeed. Alright. Getting cash. So I thought Dank was never gonna join Zoo again. It's a little bit curious. This guy doesn't even hold to his own word. Pretty curious. Once back in Zoo all of a sudden? Alright. I don't I'm contemplating just not playing DOA because I do want to play this browser game. I think I'll be way more interested in playing zombies with DOA. Dang, despawn didn't even answer my shit.
One.
Well, I mean, I'm basically battling out your presidential candidates in this video game. Got like zombies screaming at me. What's going on here? What fucking old men fighting?
Pretty much.
How much do you think does that bother you at all? Or do you just not give a shit? You're just like,
That they're old
overblown.
as fuck.
Yeah, I think Biden's doing
Does
worse
bother me.
cognitively.
Yeah, it does bother me. I think we should get someone much younger in there.
Why is it just like a feelings thing, or like let's just say like somebody older had policies that you agreed with more versus, you know, like a younger, you know, let's say like he's freshly 35, right? But the older guy had more policies that you agreed with, you know, so how are you feeling about that? Would you go for the older guy? I'm talking about like 80, like the
if he
older
was
guy's
like
80.
Biden age or
Biden age, yeah, Biden age. Yeah.
I mean, it would probably depend on their, like, how, like, different their policies would be. Like, if they're
I'm saying that
completely
you
different,
agree with the older guy way more.
yeah, I probably would, but
So it's like it's not like you care about the age. Like policies are more important. Like that's like the X factor.
yeah, I'd probably say that.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, age is still a factor in that.
Right.
Usually, coming with like age, it usually like they have different perspectives because of it too. Like usually, their policies.
I don't usually get tank. Alright, common drop. I have my chat open on my second monitor because my game BO1 likes to sync up the hertz to the second monitor, and I've only got a 60 hertz monitor as my second. Doug, this is a 2014. This is a 10-year-old monitor. I just realized that. Forget how old some of my equipment is. I was watching this video. It was like two prison ladies, and they were making a cheese tortilla, but they were making it with what you call it? These like cheesy biscuit crisp snacks that they have, and they made dough out of the out of some of the things, and they also made a sauce. They got like a bag, basically like Doritos, and they put water in. They crushed the Doritos, and they put water into it to make the sauce. It was like really, it's quite ingenious, and I was like, that's how I feel like right now. That's the setup right now. Actually, it's nowhere near as scuffed. I generally keep really what you call it? I keep care of my shit. So my blue snowball is from 2015. It's been broken. The plug socket at the back of it, it no longer, it doesn't have a component to it, so I have to sellotape the cable into it, otherwise it won't stay in. But that's been a thing since 2 years into owning it, like 2017. So you know what? The fact that it's never had a problem, yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging the blue snowball. Finally. He's fucking here. Man, Dank was like, this is what Dank said. Trickies won't want the smoke. Connect the debate. Debate why is his Discord cringe. Debate Trickies is cringe. that's what he's saying. He wants to join VC with you. Or at least he wanted to. I don't think he's no longer in my chat.
Good.
Dank?
Good. Yeah, Dank, yeah. He said get Trickies in the VC, and I'm like, he's been here the whole time. He's just muted. Need to summon him.
Yeah, I'll VC with him if you want, so I don't really care.
Well, he's the one who left, so I would assume you'd be down to VC with him. He said he would never join Zoo ever again. But he's not in the chat because he would have been responding to the things I've been saying to him. But he's not, he just dipped. Getting a little bit too boring for him. I'm just talking about, I was just telling Thingy about, it's like an election for like a police commissioner showing up. Sorry, I got the poll card. Like, you need that to vote. Actually, I don't even know if you need to vote, but it just tells you, like, yeah, there's an election coming up, and I was, like, looking up some of the candidates, basically just telling him about that, and then I was telling him, it's like, oh, yeah, you also have, you have, like, the presidential elections and were you voting for the House and Senate, too? Pretty sure, right? On election years, you also vote for the Senate? Yeah. Do you also vote for the House, right?
2 years. I think it's every 2 years.
Yeah, those are every 2 years. Yeah, my life.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Have you even voted in any elections? Any of you?
No, I wasn't old enough.
Alright.
I only just turned 18 last year.
Right.
Or wait, no. Turned 19 last year, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I wasn't old enough during any of the elections.
Right, okay. I've only been old enough to vote in one general. Basically equivalent to your presidential. But I never voted for it. Never voted in it, sorry. But I voted for a local election, like last year. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a general election this year as well. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be like the big year for elections. Pretty much like every country is having an election for some reason. 2024 is just the Bermuda Triangle for elections.
Interesting.
It's really not that interesting.
I think so.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna be voting? Do you even care enough to vote?
I don't know. We'll see if I feel like it. I'm
Right.
pretty mood based with that, so.
Oh, right. EXC. Alright, EXC.
But nah, I don't know. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I'm probably not gonna, but maybe I'll want to go out of my way to do it.
Right. What's your like? Well, I'm gonna use like the big words now. Like, in terms of like epistemology, which just means like how you determine the truth or whatever. It's like how do you determine who you vote for and like where do you go to find out who's like the more suitable candidate? Like, what are your resources?
I have not really researched it that much, so I don't even know who I would vote for,
Right. Okay.
to be honest.
What would you vote on? What are your big concerns? Like economy, foreign policy?
I don't even know. I don't really have anything that like stands out, to be honest. I guess economy, like, is one thing I think about sometimes, but I don't know.
It's just really interesting. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air because I guess like usually online you usually find people like really dug into it's like, yeah, I know who I'm gonna be voting for, blah blah blah, or like not even voting for, but it's like I already have like really strong opinions on whoever, you know, whatever candidate or whatever the fuck. It's like you're just like, or you both of you are just like, yeah, I'm just
I'm more
chilling.
reserved when it comes to politics, yeah.
Right.
Like, I like thinking about them and talking about them, but I don't like getting too involved with it.
Right. Nah, I generally think that's better. I got a Disco Elysium point of view on it. Like, so there's like political quests you can take in that game if you find them, and basically everyone that engages in politics is like a fucking loser. And it's that's kind of how I like view it now, where it's just like anyone that's like super vocal about any of this shit. At least on the internet, I think it's like really different in real life. But on the internet, there was this really interesting article I read. Let me like go off topic a minute and like let me lay down some foundation. So it was basically talking about like 4 levels of sort of let me just use it as an example. So there's like 4 levels of like engaging with something, and like the first level is like, okay, let's say talking about BL1, it's like I like BL1 for the sake of like, you know, let's say like the mechanics of the game or whatever the fuck, like the actual matter of the fact of BL1. And then, you know, the second level is, oh, I like BL1 because, oh, I'm a zombies player in general. You know, it's like I identify as a zombies player, and so I like BL1 because of that. But I'm not necessarily a BL1 player. I just, you know, it's sort of like how us BL1 players will be like, you know, it's like let's say like you see a BL3 world record come on your timeline, it's like, you know, you will like that. Maybe you don't know like the full context, but it's like this sort of shared community that's like, we are zombies players and I play zombies, and so there's some sort of like mutual respect there, even though I don't understand what the fuck you guys did, because I don't play BL3. That's sort of like level 2. And then level 3 is sort of similar to level 2, where it's like, okay, well, my friends, yeah, it's not necessarily, I'm not really unified in terms of like, I'm no zombies players or whatever the fuck, but my friends are a zombies player, and so I'll like, you know, voice some sort of, you know, support, but it's not, it's like I don't care about the mechanics of the game. I don't engage with the mechanics of the game, but it's because my friends support it, and I'm in no way a zombies player. I don't even play like any of the other games in the franchise. And then the other one is sort of like, oh yeah, I'll just wear like a BL1 t-shirt, but I don't even know what the fuck BL1 is. You know, I just know that people sort of signal some sort of positive affirmation for liking this video game, and so I'm gonna wear a t-shirt and sort of, you know, basically get the clout sort of thing. And those are basically the 4 levels. And so what the fuck was I talking about originally? I went on the tangent, but I forgot what I was meant to talk about originally.
Oh yeah, I forgot to be honest.
Oh, politics. All right, yeah. So with politics, I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to, you know, like the actual nitty-gritty of politics, I don't know how much people, how many people actually get their sort of, you know, ideas of politics through, you know, an actual like engagement with like, yeah, I care, you know, I care actually about like the mechanics of it, and I care about, you know, the nitty gritty or whatever the fuck I actually care about it, or if it's just like, oh, my friend, like I have sort of like this similar worldview. So let's say like I'm liberal, I'm conservative, right? So like if I'm liberal, it's like I'm meant to, okay, well, I'm not, let's talk about it from the American perspective. It's like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to like guns and shit, and okay, that I also, you know, I have to, you know, love abortion, and then, you know, basically like all the like very stereotypical things to like as a liberal, and you voice your support for these things not on the basis of like, you know, I'm analyzing each of these policy platforms, you know, one by one, but it's basically, it's like I'm a liberal, and then my friends also who are liberals support these different policies, because they're also liberal too, and I support those because, not because I, yeah, as I already explained, it's because they're friends with me. So it's sort of like a level 2, you know, level 3 sort of behavior. It's not the whole like, yeah, nitty gritty sort of shit. And I feel like a lot of people's engagement is with this sort of like aesthetic shit, where people will try and emote as some sort of they'll sort of emote as some sort of, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, look how cool. Let's say like you're younger, like, you know, people that are younger tend to be like more liberal. It's like, you know, you try and look as like, if you want to look as if you're like a moral person, shit like that, it's like, yeah, you know, like I do support like all like the liberal shit and shit like that. But if you're like older, conservative, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm into all this like, you know, religious shit, you know. That's sort of like a very I guess like reductive way of looking at it, but I feel like a lot of people engage with politics like that, where it's like a very team sports thing, not necessarily oh, I'm having like, I'm actually looking at it, you know, 1-to-1, and it's very interesting because I've not really been following this shit for really too long, but hearing other people go like, you know, isn't it crazy that, you know, people used to support, you know, this and this, or this is what like would you call it, this is what people's values were, you know, that followed this movement, and then now they're, you know, they're completely out there. They basically have completely different, you know, policy foundations that are even contrary to what they would have supported previously. And it's just like, not really interesting, because it sort of indicates that like people may not necessarily be looking at something on an individual basis, but sort of just be doing some tribal shit, which is like really, I think that's like really worrying, because people can just get captured into platforms that they necessarily never even thought about. And that's really obviously I like people that think about shit way more. Actually, kind of why I respect you, and how you're not super committed to anything without knowing anything. It's like, well, why be committed to, you know, an option or whatever the fuck when you don't know shit, you know what I mean? It's like not really any point, I don't think. I don't know. Man, I was hoping for some, you know, some sort of. Like, what would you think about that sort of philosophy or whatever the fuck?
I was thinking about it, and do you think that's how anime fans are too? With like the
Oh, like
stuff?
the hive mind shit.
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know if it.
Kinda
I don't know.
similar. Like with the team sports thing you were saying. I
Oh
think it's
right,
kinda
with
similar.
I think the team sport shit definitely exists for sure, but I don't know if I would necessarily one to one. Because let's say like I'm a free run dick rider, and so I like play a very tribal game with free run where I'm, upvoting shit on different profiles. I don't think that necessarily comes from like me being, a sheep to like I think these people are like level ones, like they genuinely care about what you call it, they genuinely care about free run, like
Damage,
on a mechanic.
yeah.
What, I just got free cows, free gold cows, what the fuck. Four, I got 4 gold cows, what the fuck. Sorry, I've never seen that in my life before. We got 4 gold cows.
I don't
Five,
even know
I got
what
5
that is,
gold
but
cows.
I can guess.
Oh my god, someone needs to clip that. I just got 5 gold cows. What the fuck?
What is that? There's like a backpack. What the fuck is that? You got
Monkey.
another one?
Yeah, but I couldn't shoot it. I mean, I got 7 on this round, but I couldn't shoot the last
How many
2.
do you normally get?
Well, usually, sometimes even none. Like on the longer rounds, like none, basically. No, but what I was saying is that like these free run fans, I think they're level ones in terms of like they actually care about free run. They're not like getting it from their friends where it's like I'm defending free run based on well, I just got another gold cow and I exploded it. Okay. This is just getting ridiculous at this point. Yeah, so you know what I'm trying to say is that these guys are level ones. They're not getting it. They're not getting subsumed by their friends' opinions. They actually care about that shit. I don't know if anything in anime is like that, where people get their opinions based off of their friend. Maybe like anime YouTubers. Maybe you could do it like that, where anime YouTubers will be able to drive a narrative. There'll be thought leaders, and based off of that, people will be, I guess, like EXE. I mean, you think about EXE, where it's like we are sort of thought leaders, and he will pick up a lot of the shit that we like and that we say is good. He'll basically sort of emote a lot of our ideas, and it's just like interesting. It's like you like all the shit that we like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he really likes anything, to be honest. I feel like a lot of his scores kind of just come from us, to be honest.
Right.
Because he genuinely enjoys like a lot of this random shit he watches. Like I remember back when he really liked the Kame ga Kill, and then all of a sudden he's got it as like a 3 or
exactly
4 or
right. He's emoting what the in-group thinks about Akame ga Kill instead of what he actually feels about, or like his opinions like super influenced, and it's just like, yeah, that sort of behavior is really yeah, I definitely
he really
hate
liked it. I don't know, I'm not really sure why he would put something that he liked that much down that far that quickly,
Well, yeah. Well, you actually do though. It's because you said it was bad. Yeah, the hive mind got a hive mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. It's very clear when you're talking to somebody, when somebody's hive minding, is like what are they saying about the topic? Are they saying anything unique or interesting? Especially when it comes to like art and media. It's like if you're having the same fucking takeaway as me, like sometimes it sucks watching shit with people like EXE, because it's like you just now parroting the shit that I like about it, and you're just it's sort of like you know how in school it's like you're doing research, you research something, and then you're just meant to write it back in your own words. You're meant to explain it in your own words. That's sort of like what it feels like he's doing. He's like basically using my ideas and then sort of rewriting it in his own sort of way of saying it, and then yeah. It's just a little bit boring, not to knock the guy, but it's boring to talk to somebody that also just has the same opinions as you because they're picking it up from you. That's why I kind of respect Yarka's opinions. I said I do think that Yarka is actually fairly intelligent, because you do notice that he's able to defend his ideas to way more capably than most people that I've talked to anime with. I'd say like almost everyone that I've talked to. I think he's a very unique ability to defend his ideas, and somebody that's able to defend their ideas to that extent probably has a good understanding of what he actually feels himself, and I probably think that he's getting it from his own. He's getting it by himself. He's not being a slave to anyone's any like big YouTubers or friend groups opinions on something. And so I respect that a lot. I definitely do respect that when people do have their own opinions, because I don't want to hear the same fucking takes about something. It's like Free Run. Free Run did OP. This is like a YouTube. I don't know if you've seen this come in your recommended, but it's like Free Run did OP character, right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's just
Yep,
like,
yep.
you guys all say the same thing. Like, you guys are just recycling the same fucking ideas. I'm just so tired of that shit, man. Like, do you content creators have not have anything else to say about this anime? Like what did you feel about it? Like, what did you connect with? OP power scaling done right, like the other 50 guys. Are you fucking serious?
Magic system done right.
Yeah, magic system done right.
That one too.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of the videos though. I kind of wanted to, just to see like what they had to say.
I don't even want to watch those reviews, because I know I get really upset just knowing that this anime has become #1. It just really upset me. That's like, that's just such a disappointing thing to happen, because I just don't think it has the quality to if you basically take different elements of the anime. It's just like everything else that I know surpasses it. It's like, the exam part of the anime, okay, well, tuning exams blows out the fucking water. It's not even close in terms of like the character writing. Rock Lee versus Garo is still talked about to this day in regarding Naruto. Like, who the fuck is gonna be talking about Free Ren versus Chocolate Free Rens? Like, I'm sorry, that's not gonna be something that's gonna be talked 20 years down the line. It's a fucking fact. There's no way. I actually refuse to believe that. Fucking Chocolate Free Ren.
Especially when the highlight of that fight was the animation.
Right, exactly. It's just the animation.
It's just, oh my god, it's so animated well.
Oh, pretty colors. And yeah, cool. I'm so tired of that shit. So yeah, the tuning exams I thought were fucking incredible from Naruto. Just the emotion that they introduce new characters, they build them up, so when they do have these inevitable confrontations, it's not any of this like fake bullshit where it's like, we're actually gonna make you guys not work in a team for some reason, even though you haven't sort of gotten grudges from the previous round. Like, there is no actual legitimate like grudge that any of you have, but yet you're still not going to work together. And so when you start working together, it's not something that you don't fucking feel anything when they start working together. It's like, oh, fucking Free Round and friends are working together now, wow, so cool. It's like, who the fuck cares? It's completely irrelevant. Sorry, I got stuck in a tense situation, so it's sort of pause.
Man. I stopped reading my comments because I'm getting so many on my free interview. Just
you still
people
getting?
just like trying to, yeah, people are just like trying to say my review's bad and stuff, and then they constantly are like, oh my god, everything in your video is bad, and then
what would him
they line out all these things.
Come on.
Right, yeah, but they'll lay out things, and then it'll be like, but yeah, that's just your opinion. I'm like, obviously, like they write 5 fucking paragraphs. Just talking about how it's all only my opinion and doesn't apply to anyone else, and I'm like, okay, but like obviously,
yeah, there's
no point even writing this.
This is like really one weird thing about media reviews, where some people think there's some sort of like objectivity, like it's like, yes, like some fucking like quantum fucking quantum theory, fucking general relativity, where it's like, yeah, we can like measure the planets with this media review. It's not fucking objective. It's just how you view art. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just like, yeah, if you like it, you're gonna voice the things that you like about it. There's nothing objective about that. It's like you're not measuring, you know, a fucking iPhone. Like, there's gonna be one definitive length that is, whether you address that in meters, miles, fucking Planck lengths, I don't care. Like, it's gonna have one fucking length, and that's gonna be the objective right answer. That's it, one answer. And the fact that they're like, it doesn't apply to anyone else, it's like, I think that misses the point of the media reviews, where it's like you're meant to share your perspective on something, and so when you dismiss somebody's perspective as not applying to anyone else, like, what the fuck is the point of a media review then, when you think it's meant to refer to some objective reality? It's like, oh, whoever's the most popular wins or something. Like, would you think a media review is like, oh, only the most popular opinion should be what you call it, showcased? And I think that comes from like a deeper sort of issue I have with a lot of people's engagements, where it's sort of like, and I don't know if you've noticed this in like sort of like usually it happens like in debates or whatever the fuck about like, you know, X media product, where it's like, yeah, they'll sort of start, the people arguing will sort of try and okay, let me explain this through the sense of morality, right? Like, I don't believe in like an objective sense of morality. Like, there's no morality written in the universe. Like, I'm not religious or anything like that. So that's, you know, where it comes from. You know, obviously religious people do believe in like, yeah, a God, so, you know, an objective morality, right? But I don't believe in that shit, right? And so I think a lot of people that are religious find that onto dissatisfying. It's like, oh, you don't believe in objective morality, so anyone can sort of just do anything because it's just all subjective, it's not real. And it's like, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like, that there is, like, it's basically just human-made constructions, right? And I feel like people sort of feel dissatisfied by saying their media opinions are subjective. They like to ground it because it makes them feel validated for some reason. Like, oh yeah, my opinion's actually not an opinion. It's like the objective fact on how free rent should be viewed, because it makes them feel more. It makes validates their opinion by saying it's objective. And I think that's like the problem people have, is that they want to feel validated by their shitty free rent opinions. It's like, Jesus, it's actually the most pathetic thing if you really think about it. I don't know what you think about my hypothesis on that, but I feel like that's where it comes from, and that's why people argue about it with you. Because
you're saying they think that I am like that, or looking at it like that, or they view it like that?
They view it like that, yeah. They view it as some sort of objective reality sort of thing, and because you're going against the grain, it's like, wait, you know, it's like you are. Because like, look at the way they argue, at least from the way you presented, look at the way they're arguing it with you. You know, they're arguing their opinion with your opinion. That doesn't make any fucking sense, because if you understand that art is just subjective, it's just like, why would I argue? It's like, oh, that's just his opinion and that's my opinion. Why would I be arguing my opinion with their opinion? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like paradoxical. Whereas if you believe it's objective and their opinions are objective, then well, now it starts making sense on why they'll be arguing, because they think you're fucking wrong, because you're not relaying objective reality, and that's really where I think a lot of these people come from, and it's just like it's so fucking boring. And it's like, yeah, to be fair, I used to be like that. I used to argue with people and how they viewed shit. Argued with, you know, people's opinions, but it's like, I realize now that it's like, it's like, why do it? It's like, if somebody actually got enjoyment out of watching the worst dog shit in existence, it's like, that's on them, right? Like, that's on them. Like, they enjoyed it. That's on them. You know what I mean? It's like, what am I trying to do by like arguing with them? It's like, no, you actually didn't enjoy it. Like, they did. That's a fact. They enjoyed it. So what am I trying to do? essentially what I'm
one of
trying
my
to do is just
favorite-
validate my own opinion. That's what I'm trying to do by arguing that. I'm not actually doing anything but that. But anyway, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say one of my favorite comments was this guy who said, so one of my points in my video was talking about how there's like no gray morality in like the demons, and that was a point adding on to the already soulless characters that the anime had. So this one guy came in and said, you do realize that, or he says that I don't know anything about what writing or storytelling is, because everything doesn't have to have gray morality to be good. And then he pointed out, he said, some of the most critically acclaimed Western stories have no evil, or just evil and no gray morality. And he says, look at Lord of the Rings or Avatar: The Last Airbenders examples. So he's saying that I
The
should
second one
like
isn't
this
even
anime
true, but
because
sure.
those movies have similar elements that are
Right.
critically acclaimed, not necessarily things that I even like or have seen in a long time. So I just thought that was really funny. It's kind of the appeal to authority. Like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, these
it's
are
an
critically
appeal
acclaimed.
to. Yes, I critically acclaimed. It's like, why do I care? This is my opinion. This is not about what's critically acclaimed. This is about my opinion.
Like,
If you don't know I
what
like
it-
these things, why you using that as any sort of foundation to argue against me with? But anyway,
Yeah,
we're gonna say
like
about-
what if I fucking hated those examples?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why use that as a foundation when you don't know? It's basically just, this is what it, you see what they're appealing to the majority, to popularity. And this is how a lot, you see a lot of people do this, where it's like they have to appeal to something, either if it's, you know, like this, you know, pseudo objective reality that they believe in, where it's like, yes, my opinion on ReZero is actually objective somehow. It's written into the universe that this is actually good. Or that will appeal to, you know, like, if something is critically acclaimed, why the fuck do I care if a majority of viewers think something is good? What the fuck? What does that matter to me? This is my review, and you don't know how I view things. Why are you appealing to this shit? Because again, it's one of those things where it's like, they don't like your opinion, and they want to validate their own opinion by saying, oh, look, the majority of the people, majority of people actually agree with me. And it's just like, who the fuck cares if majority of the people agree with you? It's like, just let people have their own opinions. And it's like, if something, like, your opinion could be based off like incorrect facts from the anime. Like, let's say I somehow conjured up a storyline that never actually happened, and I thought it happened. Well, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, then I had like an incorrect analysis, right? Like, that can totally happen, right? But they're not arguing over that. They're arguing on like the actual subjective point, not the objective, you know, like if you had an actual correct analysis of what happened. They're arguing on your takeaway of the objective, of the like objective reality, so like the subjective part of your opinion. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking why. This is why. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I wonder what that is though. Like, I actually really wonder what that is, because I think a lot of it is insecurity, because I don't see that as like, I don't see that as a rational human behavior. I mean, humans aren't rational, and this is why I say humans aren't rational for this exact behavior. It's like, why are people on the internet just arguing about this shit? You just think about that for a second. People are arguing your opinion on something, and they're not arguing they're not arguing on like the actual fact of the matter. So like, if you understand the actual what happened in the anime, but they're arguing on if you liked it or not. What the fuck? This is not a serious species. It can't be. I don't know what you think about that. Fucking people arguing over that shit.
I mean, it's just, it's pretty much everywhere. I mean, you go in Fantano's comments, people are going to be doing that. Twitter, about politics.
Right.
Yeah.
and some of it is just like you don't like something I like or love, oh my god, you're attacking me. Now I gotta like
Yeah, maybe.
fucking
I think some
stupid.
people might take it personally for some reason.
It's not some people. It's a big chunk of people taking shit personally. Big chunk of people. It's like, why? If you're that invested in something, it's just you need to take a step back.
He's coming to my fucking MAL comments, calling me a neat. You know,
Calling
people
you a
like that.
fucking Negro, the most retarded Negro. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I actually don't understand.
It's like, man.
And then the guy does like the most neat behavior. It's like, yeah, I'm making all accounts to boost a. This is what I mean. Like, people need to have their opinion validated. It's like a crisis of validation. It's like, no, I actually need the MAL website to say that one of my favorite animes of this season that I'll probably forget about in 10 years is actually the #1 anime right now of all time. And it's like, you fucking see, that's really, you need your opinion validated that much? Like, it is the most pathetic shit I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, and the same guy was coming in calling me a contrarian or something.
Right, because you
I
go
just
against the
looked at it.
grain, right? And it's just like,
Yeah.
why don't you argue about the points instead of emoting or over, stupid terms that you've heard somebody else say on the internet, but you don't actually and analyze what it means. Like, contrarians, like, why is it wrong to be a contrarian it's wrong to be a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian, but he wasn't. It doesn't sound like he was saying that. It's like, he's just calling you a contrarian. It's like, okay, like, you've basically just analyzed reality. Yeah, I am going against the fucking grain with my opinions. Like, why does that matter? Why don't you argue on the points of, that were presented in the video? It's because these guys are not serious. Not serious about actually understanding why you think the way you do. And even they'll never. Just think about that. There's people that were that disturbed with your review that they're not actually content with you having a different opinion. They're not content. They're they're commenting on your profile these crazy things. I just think and these people are the ones that are making accounts to boost free rent score. Just think about those people exist, and they're upset with you. Man, that's gotta be one of the funniest thing. But it's like, I wonder, right? Like, because a lot these are like English speaking people, so they come from, presumably English speaking societies, unless they're like just English speakers in general, but they come from different countries. Like, I wonder if in Japan would this happen. Would you have this in Japan? Is this like a very Western concept of doing this? I don't actually understand. Or actually, I wonder if there's like a society that exists that doesn't react to this when it comes to media, where they're not acting like tribalistic, unhinged lunatics, but they're actually very rational. Or do you think that's just like something that we've not been able to overcome in any sort of society?
Man, I'm not sure. I think it is definitely more of a Western thing when it's like this bad. Because I feel like
Right.
everyone values their opinions more from, I mean, at least from my perspective, it seems like. I don't know if there's as much people disagreeing about politics in Japan or anything like that.
Yeah, actually, that's
No, I'm not
way
sure
less
if
of a
it's really
common
that
thing. It's actually kind of like there's only 2 times like an opposition party is won. It's usually just one party called the LDP that are usually in power. So it's definitely not a polarized political environment where the parties are constantly switching. So yeah, just basically one party. People seem pretty content with that in terms of how they're voting anyway. So definitely not polarized. So, but that doesn't mean they're not arguing about dumb shit, because they definitely have some dumb things in Japan when it comes to the idol culture. It's like tends to be like an East Asian thing in general, where the idol culture is pretty bad. There was one where this like weather reporter I think she was like in the UK with her boyfriend, and it's like, oh my god, she has a boyfriend. That's like a really big deal for her. And she was like a weather girl, like where she's on a weather station for like women only. where women are only on this weather station because it's meant to be like a cute girl sort of thing. They're basically trying to sell their cuteness. There's her fans, like that sometimes they do meetups and it's like basically just all guys, which is really funny. But it's like, what would you expect? But yeah, her fans basically revolted because she had a boyfriend, and that's like a thing. that's a controversy that happens in Japan. Oh, you're one of these like sort of like idol type girls that is popular for, you know, being a woman. Yeah, that shit happens over there, and it's like this super weird culture that happens. Sorry, not happens. There's this weird thing that whatever culture exists in Japan creates these really weird scenarios where if you're in the entertainment industry, having a boyfriend is such a... sometimes it's like written in your contract that you just can't have a boyfriend if you're a woman. And even for men, that's a thing. I'm pretty sure K-pop groups, so in Korea, I'm pretty sure that's a thing where the guys are not allowed to have partners, which is...
I've heard about that.
Really, and that's obviously in reaction to the consumers. And yeah, it definitely I guess that's not really tribalism, but it's like a really weird negative aspect of, you know, these East Asian cultures where you think they're like super tame on, you know, let's say like politics or shit like that, but they still have these like really weird like irrational outbursts to over you know, their, you know, entertainment figures. It's like yeah, it's unhinged. That's really fucking unhinged. Especially because it's like very aesthetic based too. If you think about it, it's like it's an aesthetic that they're trying to promote, that they are not in a relationship. It's not actually, but because they're trying to sell you the fantasy of you could actually potentially get with them. That's why they don't want to be, at least that's my understanding of why they why their fans want them to not be in a relationship. So it's like a fucking aesthetic. They just, even they'll never get with them, but they want the aesthetic to be there, that they don't that they could potentially be with them. And it's like, what the fuck is that? That's some fucking cringe shit. So yeah, everyone's irrational everywhere. Man, you need like a fucking island nation, you know, just like only the elite
Sealand.
people. Sealand. Yeah, I don't know what Sealand is.
You gotta look it up.
Right.
There's like debate on whether it's a country or not.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
Isn't there like a fucking island where there's just like people who have never been like
No.
outside civilization?
No, there was like this.
yeah,
this,
there
like,
is. It's in
foundation.
India.
There was like this foundation that the I forget which country it was. They used it to launch like missiles or something.
Principally of
And it was like abandoned. And some guy like found it and started making like a house on it. And like he just got married and like had a family and they just lived on Sealand. It was really funny.
Yeah, sorry, man. That's not becoming a country.
You don't think so?
Definitely not. What is the incentive to whatever
That's what
country
the
claims it
point is.
now? Why would anyone want to be like, oh, some random guy took an uninhabited island over a on land that another country claims? Like, why would they take the
But it's
claim of
not
some random
anymore.
guy?
Like it was like abandoned. So
Right.
like that's
Well, it's
it kind of
abandoned,
brings into
but
question
it's
what.
claimed by the country, and I'm saying, why would like the international community, it's just not in their interest to be like, oh yeah, no, this random guy that, you know, basically can't do shit for us, but not only can they do shit for us, but it's also like the precedent of, you know, you don't want to set a precedent that somebody could just find an abandoned island on your coastline and then be like, oh, that's mine. Because think about it, for like security, You know, it's like imagine on America's coast, like fucking China finds an abandoned island, or vice versa. It's like none of these countries ever want that to happen, so it's not in their interest to basically accept this guy's proposal of, you know, oh yeah, this is
So-
my country.
So you think in order to be a country, you need to be recognized by other countries?
That's generally how it works, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're gonna uphold your status on the international
I think I'd agree.
I mean, there's countries that are not widely recognized, like let's say like Taiwan, right? Like it's recognized in terms of like a layman sense, but like on a governmental level, like not even like the US recognizes Taiwan as a country on a policy level, but on a layman level, it's like, yeah, everyone says like, oh yeah, Taiwan's a country. You ask the populace of the United States, or you ask the populace of UK, it's like, yeah, like Taiwan's a country. Like so that's not a fucking debate unless you're talking to some like weird tanky, if you know what those guys are, like USSR defenders basically. Yeah, it sounds as unhinged, just like one of those like internet things. Yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? Because I'm kind of cornered right now, so I'm kind of lost track of what the fuck I was talking about. A guy taking an island in the middle of nowhere, something, the fuck is.
Remember? Waiting for Deng to come back.
And I despawned. Oh yeah, I was talking about people in a country, like the layman of the country will recognize something as a country, but on a policy level, people won't. But it's like like the layman of a country and not recognizing sea land is, you know, a real thing. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Like the fuck gives a shit about sea land. On a policy level, that's definitely not happened. Not gonna happen based on what I already said. It's like just not any incentive for a country to do that because it sets like really bad precedents that other countries could abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I can see land.
Yeah, my favorite is Landia, which is XQC's proposal for Israel-Palestine. He says, oh yeah, it should just, you know what, let's just create just a new land, like fuck everything else, just a new land, and then they will live in peace. And I'm like, you know what, I like where you're going with that. I agree with you. Should just live in peace. I agree with that shit. Landia, I like the idea of Landia. I wouldn't live there, but I don't know. I just don't have. I don't have any sort of connection to any sort of piece of land. What like creating like a new land? Just like, alright, fuck it. No, like we're deleting both your countries and we're just gonna have one country. He's saying, would that work?
Yeah.
Well, practically, you would never get that to happen because none of these people, like it's like how are you gonna get Israel to, you know, basically go like, all right, fuck it, we're just deleting ourselves and we're gonna have the power to. It's like they're not gonna let that fucking shit happen. And the Palestinians, right, they're basically gonna have to get along, and it's just like, all the history that's happened, yeah, it ain't fucking happening. Sorry. Like, you guys both hate each other. You both wanna kill each other. Like, yeah, that ain't fucking happening. Oh my god, I almost died like a fucking idiot. I hate this round. And I'm going flawless, so I don't want to die. I'd love Landia though, because I don't care about any sort of, I don't have any attachment to any piece of land. So I think that shit is like super cringe. It's just like, you guys really give a shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like Mongolian, man. I'm fucking nomadic, you know what I mean? So I move wherever the fuck I need to be, you know? Both my parents are migrants, so, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't really have a connection to anywhere. Like, in terms of, you know, where my parents come from. Yeah. And I guess I like where I live, but it's like, if I had to move, like, I'm not, I don't really give a fuck that much. I had no skin off my chin.
I think I'm with you on that. Even though you have a lot of personal attachments where I live, I don't think I'd care too much either.
Right. But it's like, yeah, that's probably gonna be like a cultural thing. It's like people in Israel and Palestine, it's like they super give a shit. You know, it's like, yeah, we just want this land, we're gonna fight to the bitter end for it. It's like, Jesus, sort it out, guys, sort it out. It's too much effort, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like, you I think you do have to move forward. I think you do. When it comes to, what'd you call it? When it comes to a conflict, it's like past grievances. It's like, if past grievances are going to, if you're gonna let past grievances affect everything, and you're gonna still keep fighting based on those past grievances, like, you know, that shit's never gonna end. That's some like fucking Attack on Titan, you know, hatred, cycle of hatred type shit. It's like,
but yeah, it's also what it's about.
I mean, I'm super simplifying like the conflict as if it's like that simple, but also grow the fuck up too. I can't believe I've lived for this long, considering I'm not really paying attention to what's happening. And I think 3 weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I died on this round, or at least like one of these arenas, and like lost all my lives and shit. And I just died. Just walked into a pole. I have such bad poles this round.
Fuck.
They're bad on both sides of the little, what are the oil tankers or whatever. I can't believe that, what you call it, that Israel-Palestine issue is basically like subsumed like everything in terms of like media reporting. It's like, why the fuck do I have to keep listening to this shit? I do not give a fuck about this shit. Well, I say I don't give a fuck about it, sort of like I say that in like a very fatigued way. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? It's like
oversaturated.
Yeah, it's definitely very oversaturated. It's like everyone knows about this now, and it's like, I'm definitely, maybe some European, but it's like I'm way more interested in Ukraine because it implicates me more. So it's like, I definitely would like to see more of a focus on Ukraine. I just think the implications, just even in like global politics, I mean, just way more impactful of a conflict, just because of the powers that exist there, the precedent that's been set with the Ukraine war. Because if you, you know, it's like Crimea 2014. You know, what did Obama do? when that happened. What did Europe do? Just look the other way when Putin annexed Crimea. You know, it's like you know, finally, you know, Joe Biden, he's like, oh, you want to fucking invade this time? All right, let's see how it goes for you this time. And there's like a coordinated sanction. You know, the Europeans were really slow to do anything, and you know, I think Joe Biden did a really good job of coalition building with the other members of NATO to, you know, get their ass in gear and actually be like, yeah, no, this is some fucking serious shit now. Because a lot of the big, like Germany, like, you know, big power holder in Europe, it's like they're very reliant on Russian what you call it, gas. It's either gas or, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Russian gas. And so obviously that's going to raise inflation, because now gas costs more, and so energy bills are going to increase, because now you're no longer getting cheap gas from Russia. So they were definitely very slow to do anything. And then UK is sort of similar, where they're a lot of their like political like London is sort of like called like the money laundering capital of the world, and a lot of Russian oligarchs like own property over here and shit, and so they're quite entrenched in, you know, in the UK, and so it did take someone to sort of coalition build and go like, yeah, you guys need to actually do something about this shit, like even though it's gonna cost you, you know, economically, like, it's gonna cost you so much. And so the fuck was I talking about? I don't know how the fuck we got to Ukraine and shit.
We were talking about the other one, the Israel Palestine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I was saying I just think this shit is just way more important. I think the implications are just way more stark in terms of like Europe. You know, finally, you know, this is you know, Trump was basically saying under his tenure, it's like, you know, it's like, Europe, you're not meeting your, you know, 2% GDP spending on military defense. Like, you guys are not meeting that. And now after, you know, Russia moved to invade Ukraine, you know, Europe is definitely, you know, like, okay, this is some fucking serious shit. So in terms of like, you know, the trajectory of, you know, a major economic bloc in the world, it's like, it's completely changed. And the outcome of this conflict is also going to be really big in terms of, you know, is it going to be, you know, is there going to be is that basically going to be like an occupation, like a permanent occupation, or like near, you know, like midterm future, a permanent occupation of the, what the fuck did I die to? Of the eastern regions of Ukraine, or is there going to be, you know, a full defeat of Russia? Are they going to fully expel them out? Are they even going to get Crimea back? Because that'll be, you know, even crazier. It's like, where is this war going? And that's going to completely change the trajectory. Because if Putin basically completely loses, like, you know, basically Ukraine is, you know, they have control over the territory that they claim. It's like, that's gonna have big implications for where Russia is gonna go. It's like, what's going to happen to Russia? And it's not even like he has, you know, you got to realize Russia is like a federation with, you know, different sort of like pseudo nation states inside it, and not even all of them super fuck. Well, not Georgia. Georgia's like an actual country, but Chechnya and all these other states. Well, they have like a part of Georgia, because Russia is actually super scuffed when it comes to what do you call it, their foreign policy. They're super hawkish. So yeah, they don't even have like a super good standing, you know, within some of these republics. They're called, oh yeah, I remember their official name now. I think they're called republics. And that could spell bad fucking news for Putin and his tenure. Oh, taking so many downs on this round. I do not think the ray gun was the best choice. At least I'm leaving with 6 lives. It's not that bad. I lost all my deserves.
Alright, I'm back.
Tight. Bonus room. Man, I'm basically in Ukraine right now. What?
It's kind of unrelated to what you guys were talking about earlier, but why the fuck? I went on Tricky's video and I just seen the comments. It's just, this guy's like, look, if an anime isn't for you, that's fine. Personally, I don't care. And then he just goes on like a wall of text.
That's
like,
what I was talking about.
You
He
don't
just
care
talks about.
the text. What did you say?
He just goes on about how everything in the anime is not for me, but like how my review's bad because of that.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like you don't care that the anime is not for me, but then you don't want me to share my opinion if something is not for me. It's like I don't. It's
you
just
don't
like this fake
care.
facade. Yeah, like you obviously do care.
You don't care, and then you go on with a wall of text.
Yeah, it's this fake facade of like, oh, by the way, guys, I don't care, even though I'm gonna basically try and silence your opinion off the internet because it doesn't conform to what I like about it. It's just like, what the fuck is that shit? What you? Okay, I get it. You like free run. Why do I need to conform with your opinion? Why can't I post my opinion? Like, you not care about any sort of, do you not have any sort of integrity in terms of values? Don't you think it's because I bet there's going to be something that he doesn't particularly like, and probably shares his opinion about something that he doesn't particularly like, but it's just like, oh, not interesting.
Unless you learn from Himmel.
Oh yeah, you gotta learn your lesson from him over here, bro. Clearly you didn't pick that up, Tricky's winky smiley face.
True.
That is one of the dumbest comments I think I've ever seen in my life.
I literally gave it a heart because it was so stupid. Like, it's one of my favorite comments I've ever gotten. But this guy sent, like, not only did he send that huge wall of text, he sent more under, like, his own...
Yeah.
I didn't read all of it. I only read like half of his first message.
Oh, understandable, bro. Understandable.
Yeah, how did this comment with... How did it get 16 likes saying you're just an overstimulated shonen watcher? Like, how the fuck does that get 16 likes?
Didn't somebody comment on the thing like, oh, he doesn't actually watch shonen? I went on his profile and checked.
Yeah, that was Frenzy. And then I said that it's literally a shonen series.
Yeah.
This fucking free run's shonen, bro. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, no, yeah. It practically is about shonen, so like all that shit. It's got all the hallmarks.
It's so ridiculous.
And it is published in shonen. It's got battles. No, but it's not shonen, bro. It's not what I meant by when I said shonen. Okay, go and kill yourself in a video game with your dumb fucking what you call it, definition of shonen that somehow doesn't include free run, because that's probably what the guy would say. Or lady, I don't know, maybe we could have some unhinged ladies, I don't know.
It's true.
Probably not though. I just don't think I could see unhinged women arguing about free run on the internet, and if your opinion isn't right, I don't know, they're probably fucking arguing about some other shit.
There probably is some.
Probably fucking K-pop. What the fuck?
Yeah.
wherever the fuck the unhinged women are, or I think Taylor Swift, another above. That's probably where the other unhinged women are.
So yeah, this guy just went on a big tangent about like my one point with the elves or something, and then everything else is just like he's pretty much just saying you got to read the manga, which is it kind of makes sense, I guess. Obviously, I mean,
Just read the manga. No, everything that I didn't like satisfying. I didn't find anything in this anime satisfying, so why would I go out of my way to read the manga for it when I could just go and watch something that I probably would enjoy? It's like, what? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he's just saying that it explained some things, but well, I mean,
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
so
that
that's
makes
what I'm
sense then.
saying, like, yeah, no, it's fine, but I just don't see a reasonable explanation to some of the things I was talking about. But
Yeah, just read the
which is why I
manga.
talked about it in the first
It's
place. But besides that, he's just saying for every other point that yeah, it's just like on the point of music, I can see what you mean, and he's like, yeah, the background art, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it, and then the same thing with explosions. He's just saying, and then the comedy, it's just over and over again. He's just like, yeah, I get that you don't like it. It's like, well, man, why are you fucking sending this?
Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna like the things that you like. Yeah, that makes sense. These are opinions, by the way.
Yeah.
I get that you don't like
You
it. Yeah,
didn't like the main cast. Can't argue with how you felt. Yeah, no, like.
yeah. You can't really argue with feelings.
And then he says the only point he actually talks about is he says also wrong. Freerun is not about nostalgia, and then I just stopped reading after that.
No, right.
And like I'm not wasting my time reading this guy's interpretation of it and talking about how my interpretation is wrong. Like how is an interpretation wrong?
Well, it depends.
I mean, I guess you could be wrong about like a certain interpretation, but in this case, it's like, I mean, it could go either way, I don't know what he's talking about.
I think it's about chocolate free run, but it's just me and my brother.
Because it definitely is about nostalgia. 100%.
Let me think about that
But he's
for a
not
second.
even-
Yeah, I guess in a way.
That was like, my whole time watching it, that was kind of the biggest thing to me.
Well, I wouldn't really verbalize it as nostalgia. I think it has a completely different implication to what the word usually is paired with. It's like when I say nostalgia, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm let's say like nostalgia for old Zoo, and you actually love to always go on about old Zoo and Ender and shit like that. It's like reminiscing on these memories that you guys made, but I wouldn't say Freerun is necessarily reminiscing, but also kind of realizing it's not like a nostalgia exercise. She's not just looking to the past and sort of reveling in it. Yeah, she's sort of realizing that, whoa, it's like there's so much that I sort of took for granted, and I took you guys for granted. I don't know if that's like necessarily nostalgia more than actually just self-reflection and like rediscovery. Wouldn't necessarily call it nostalgia, but I guess you could call it nostalgia.
I think it is in a way. I think it is in a way. But I guess it just depends on your connotation of the word.
Right. Exactly what I was saying.
But either way, it's like the same line of stuff. Either way. With whenever like Himmel dies, she realizes, she did value her time with him.
Himmel is so boring as a character. It's like you've got this guy in the fucking past, and it's just like, who is he? Like, he's basically just like perfect guy. Nah, people can't be calling Freerun top tier. Are you fucking serious? Like random generic guy. That this is like the past guy that they're hyping up for the past 28 episodes, and that's it. Well, I don't know how many episodes there are. I'm pretty sure it's 28, but it's like
28.
That's who they're hyping. Seriously? And I just think of all the sort of anime that I've seen where it's like Monster and it's like the Red Rose Manor, and it's just like, are we serious right now? Like, we think of like, yeah, Monster and the Red Rose Manor, like that was hyped because there was something to it. It's not just like him all being a kind guy. It's like, what really happened at this manor? You know, there's some fucking mysteries, and not only are they mysteries, but they have an implication to what's going on in the current time. So it's fucking interesting. Or Madara Uchiha, it's like, who is he, you know? And you find out more about him, and it's just like, what is his goal? What is his plans? And it becomes a very interesting and dynamic character, and the fact that he instills so much fear just in the people in the current day. It's like, well, it's a big fucking deal if he comes back. And so, like, I think Madara Uchiha, I don't know if you know what the experience machine is, but it's basically like, it's like a philosophy question. Like, would you get into a machine that, upon entering, you'll forget that you even entered it, and you'll basically live the ideal life that will maximize your well-being? Would you enter that? That's basically the question. And he basically wants to create that because he's like, wake up to reality. You know, like, there's winners and losers, and you know, a winner necessarily implies that there's a loser. So he wants to create a world without losers. That's like his goal, and he's willing to do that through, you know, basically killing a bunch of people to achieve that. And I definitely think his philosophy on that, because it's not only the fact that it's not only like means justify the end, like he's willing to kill people for that, but it's like, is that something moral to impose on somebody? The fact that now they have to live in basically a fake reality. You know, is that something that's moral to impose on someone? And I think that's philosophically very interesting, and it makes him very interesting because it's like, this guy is the guy that basically created the current establishment. Why does he no longer believe in it? It's just like very interesting, you know. It's basically like, you resurrected George Washington, and it's like, yeah, I no longer believe in America. It's just like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And he's like actively trying to dismantle it. It's like, that's really interesting. You know what I mean? That's what makes him moderate. Like, he's basically a George Washington figure in this universe. So it's very interesting for him to try and dismantle this current system that exists in the world. So I think you can make characters super dynamic that exist in the past. And this Himmel guy, he exists in the past, and we sort of get we get his story told through flashbacks, and he is just a completely vapid and uninteresting character. Can't stand that guy. Fucking Himmel the Hero. Are you fucking serious? Like, even the name makes me want to fucking kill myself. Are you fucking serious? Himmel the Hero. It's like calling myself Alexander the Great. So, sorry, Alexander, but you have a dog shit fucking name. Or Monica the Great. Like, that's like the most like how can you be more vague than using the word great to describe something? You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? Like, what did you achieve by calling yourself the Great? You know, when I call somebody, you know, it's like, if I'm gonna have a moniker for somebody, I'm gonna call like, oh yeah, EXE is a fucking retard. Okay, maybe that's too general as well, but
EXE the retard? Oh,
you know what? Maybe that's too general as well, but that's definitely. Oh god, I just picked up a flamethrower with like 10 birds.
Nah, that's bad.
I think EXE the private collar would fit better.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's like very.
Yeah.
That's like very specific. Like, there is no. I mean, you could definitely misinterpret what it means, but there's way less room for misinterpretation. Like, you are going to be along the right lines, even if you do misinterpret, you know, part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like being, you know, partially blind or something. It's like, yeah, you can kind of sort of see like what you're looking at, but it's not really, you know, it's like you're not going to be able to. There's still gonna be room for, you know, for your interpretation to be slightly wrong, but you're generally getting the idea of what I'm trying to communicate. It's like, yeah, let's say I'm showing a partially blind person that fucking field and they're seeing like a blurry image, but it's like, well, yeah, it's like green and shit, and like, yeah, it looks nice, you know, like nice warm colors and shit. Well, they're not, I mean, green and blue aren't warm colors, but you know what I mean, you know what I mean, it's peaceful and tight and cool, whatever the fuck. It's close enough. ML the fucking hero. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying about free run, is that you look at the characters in that anime and they're just incredibly uninteresting. Incredibly uninteresting. It's like you're not interested in having these characters meet each other. You're not. And when Siri meets Freeran, what happens? It's not this, you know, tense confrontation. It's just dumb shit. It really is just dumb shit. Yeah,
like,
deeply unserious.
How low integrity the whole thing was in the first place.
True.
Like the exams are pointless. Why didn't they just do this in the first place and just have everyone meet Siri?
Well,
Like,
the
people
reason
wouldn't
why
have
they
to
met
die.
Siri is that it's like, oh, too many people are passing, so let me just do a character judgment that the viewers don't actually know what judges them, so there's no sort of you're sort of taken out of the process, and therefore it becomes less unenjoyable because now it's not in
Very
the
random.
it's not in, it's effectively random because it's no long, we can no longer see the characters have any sort of agency over how well they're doing, which is really just, yeah, it's sort of like how some people think Naruto got ruined because it turned into like ancient, whoever had like the best ancient bloodline. It's like, oh, you're Uchiha, like, yeah, you got the best, you get something called a Kekkei Genkai, and that's like genetic powers that only you can have, and it's like very bullshit in terms of like, it's not very meritocratic. I think that's the word. Basically it's not based on, you know, I'm born equal and I just do better. It's like, oh, you have like this fucking ancient bloodline. That's some fucking bullshit. And that's what it turned into. Like the cast of characters that could effectively do something just got more limited. And that, why I bring this up in relation to free run is that it gives the other characters less agency, and it's the same thing with like that third act of that free run exam. It's just the characters, you've removed agency from the characters, and therefore it just becomes sort of it's sort of like when the enemies just stand there when the enemy is down, like the bad guys, if you remember, when they were just standing there, when they were knocked over, like the main characters were knocked over. It's like, oh, let me just fucking stand there and like start monologuing to you about my plans. It's just like, what the fuck. If once you realize that, it's like, I can't even fucking take this shit. This is not serious.
So
This is some
dumb. I hate
bullshit.
when anime does that.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
Shonen
That's why I didn't like
love to do
Brotherhood, because that shit happened all the time in it.
that. No,
And
that
I
shit
like would
drives me
always bring
insane.
that up to everyone in here, and everyone just like, I guess didn't mind it as much as I did.
Yeah, some people
think,
don't realize shit
like,
that.
it wasn't as bad in that series, but it's definitely is noticeable.
Oh, I thought it was honestly like it happened. I mean, it's longer, it's much longer, so I think it happened more. But you know, I guess there was more things to make up for Brotherhood. So for your
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I don't know. Freerun just kind of feels like generic at times.
It happens multiple times in the
That's
same
what
fight.
it is.
Pretty much
It
is,
happens
yeah.
multiple times in the same fight.
It's a generic the anime.
I don't know why I said at times. I meant like freaking most of the time.
And everyone's saying that's why it's good, is because it's generic, but it's like done right. What does that even
Well,
mean?
well,
What
that's
is
why
that? Yeah,
people
done by
think
how?
it's good because it's not fucking complete trash like all the other series that comes out nowadays. It's probably why
Yeah,
people
even it,
smooch
like
it.
I don't know. There's like
I
I mean, I
mean,
think Apothecary Diaries is better than Freerun. That's not getting praised nearly as much.
nah, they're both getting really praised for some
But
reason.
it's not like #1 on MAL praised.
Yeah, I know
I
what you
think it's
mean.
much more distinct than Freerun. Like it'll probably stick with me longer than Freerun did or does. You know, I think there's some series that are probably more worth talking about than Freerun, but for some reason it's just that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a fucking mystery I'll never understand. Maybe in like 5 years I'll come back and rewatch it and be like, oh, this is like the best anime ever. What was I talking about?
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe it's just fucking dog shit.
Maybe I just need to understand, or I need to watch Bellatar films and then come back, and then I'll appreciate it for what it is. It's social commentary.
Fake fiction.
Social commentary about modern society. Oh my! People want to insert anything into anything. It's like, yeah, it's like that's definitely his like sort of like pet sort of what do you call it, issue of the world. What I mean by pet issue or pet anything is like that's sort of like the one sort of like, let's say someone that views conspiracies and anything, or a fucking feminist that blames the patriarchy for everything. It's like you have this like pet lens that you care about and then apply to everything. It's like, oh yeah, the reason why my food tastes bad is because of the patriarchy, and then now time to write a fucking 4K article on why that's the case. It's like, not fucking serious. Shit is not serious. Oh, I just got recommended a video, day in the life of Japanese factory worker. Oh shit.
Is that one new?
Yeah, 34 minutes ago.
Oh, nice. I better go outside soon before it gets dark. I wanna walk.
Well, I think I'm gonna stop streaming because I got to round 40 and that's as far